How's everybody doing? Hope your week's going well. This is a bonus Porchcast episode that was originally released to patrons. To find out more, go to www.patreon.com/SundayStoic to support the show. Hello patrons, thank you once again for supporting the show. And on this episode, I am going to discuss the Stoic view of stage fright. And just how I've dealt with it. Why? Well, I'm teaching again, and it's always weird to stand in front of a room of people you don't know and to start yapping. And then when you walk out of the room, you start thinking, how could I have done better? What went wrong? What went right? What could I do to improve? But in order to even get up there, you have to overcome that potential fear of speaking in front of a group. And we've all heard it said that people seem to be more afraid of dying than public speaking, which is a pretty frightening statistic. So when I was in undergrad, I hated speaking in front of anyone, especially a class of my fellow students. I would shake, hyperventilate even. It was pretty bad. And a few things I think helped me to come out of that and gain some confidence. One was doing scientific research and having I had to go speak in front of an audience of world experts on a particular field, and that was scary. But what I did was I rehearsed it a lot and rehearsed it until I almost couldn't mess it up, at least not terribly, right? I rehearsed it a lot and went and did it, and it worked okay. And that gave me some confidence. And also I started playing guitar, and I didn't go straight on stage by any means, but I would play at like a small get-together. And that would mean I didn't have to talk to a lot of people if I was nervous, but a lot of people would still engage with me. And then I got more confident and eventually went and did open mic nights. And that was scary again, because then you're in a bar and maybe you don't know anyone. And maybe they're not the nicest people. You never know. But they've always mostly been supportive. But you get up there and you play and you sing and you're nervous because there's 100 eyeballs looking at you. And you realize if you practiced enough or not when you're in front of that crowd. But I think those two things, forced public speaking and public performance, helped me to gain more confidence. I still get nervous when I play or, speak in public, but not that to that level as I did as an undergrad, where I would almost have a panic attack. And then now that I teach almost every day, I still get that little pang of nervousness, but it's nothing like it was the first time I ever stepped in front of the audience. So Epictetus tells us in the reading today that we need to keep in mind what is and what is not in our power before we get up there on stage, and to keep that firmly in mind while we are speaking or performing. The Discourses of Epictetus, Book 2, number 13, on anxiety. When I see a man anxious, I say, what does this man want? If he did not want something which is not in his power, how could he be anxious? For this reason, a lute player, when he is singing by himself, has no anxiety. But when he enters the theater, he is anxious, even if he has a good voice and plays well on the lute. For not only does he wish to sing well, but he also wants to obtain applause, and that is not in his power. So the one thing that worked for me was the repetition, and just having to be exposed to this thing that frightened me over and over again. Now, if I had known about Stoicism before doing more public speaking, I could have practiced that art of premeditatio malorum, and try to make myself a mental veteran of public speaking before even getting on stage. Maybe that would have helped. But I think something that would be very powerful, in maybe not completely quelling anxiety, but in reducing it, would be to keep Epictetus's thoughts in mind. No matter what I do, my goal should be to do the best job I can do. They always tell you to picture everyone in the audience in their underpants or something, their underwear, their undergarments. And I don't know what good that would do really, other than to make them look silly. Maybe that's supposed to help. But if you keep in mind that you're performing in front of them, but it's your goal to do the best job you can do, and you cannot control how well they respond. Because I've seen that happen at an open mic, let's say. Someone will screw up, flub a line, forget a chord, forget a line, drop their guitar or whatever, and the audience will cheer like, hey, we're with you, man. And then, of course, you might get someone who does a pretty good job of a song. They knock it out of the park, but someone in the audience boos them because they don't like that song or whatever. You don't have power as the person speaking or performing to control the feedback of the audience. The only part that is in your power is how well you do. And if you're worried about praise or worried about being condemned for it, that will cause you to not perform at your best level. So my tips, if you have a big meeting coming up, rehearse it a little bit. Give yourself some bullet point notes to help guide you if you start to get lost during your speech, so you don't forget something if you're nervous. So rehearse. Maybe listen to yourself. Record yourself. That's really awkward. It's like me listening to my own podcast and going, oh, I sound terrible. It's weird, but it can help you to improve. And give it to a friend. Give the talk to a friend before you do it in real life, and, practice your songs in front of your dog, in front of a loved one, and practice them several times. Maybe shut your eyes and practice them too. I found that if I'm performing on stage at an open mic or something, and I'm used to looking at my hands because I'm a bad guitarist, and the lights are dim in the establishment, I can't see my hands very well. That could throw a loop into my ability to perform well. So practice for potential hardships that might throw you off, likely things that could happen, and have some confidence in yourself. Do the best job you can do, and know that you can always improve the next time based on the feedback you get from your current performance. All right? Hang in there, everybody. Thanks so much for listening and supporting the show, and Carpe Diem.
I stood on the shore as I looked to the sea, watching her ship coming back to me. And as I walked out to gather her things, she looked at me as she started to sing. Have you ever seen the northern lights shining in the eternal night? Have you ever come close to catching a star? Have you felt right at home, yet not know where you are? The girl that walked with me in through the door was not the girl that I knew before. And though her face still looked the same, the ways about her were rearranged. She said, I've climbed the mountains, I've walked through the trees, I've never felt so happy and free. I can't stay in this town no more, I've got to sail to my golden shore. Well, I begged and I pleaded her not to go. The only answer she'd give was no. I sank down to my knees as she drifted slowly back out to sea. As she said, have you ever seen the northern lights shining in the eternal night? Have you ever come close to catching a star? Have you felt right at home, yet not know where you are? So now I don't know what to do, to stay here or go looking for you. But I know I'll never be satisfied without you standing right by my side. So I'm standing in eternal night, watching the sky bathed in firelight, looking for my old gal, and I feel right at home, yet don't know where I am. Have you you ever seen the northern lights shining in eternal night? Have you ever come close to catching a star? Have you felt right at home yet not know where you are? Have you felt right at home yet not know where you are? Thank you.